Here today from Breast Cancer Now, and I'm joined by Jacqueline Gold, CEO of Ann Summers. I'm absolutely delighted that you're here with me today. I'm Rachel, I'm one of the nurse specialists from Breast Cancer Now, and we'd just like to remind you before we get going to put your comments in the comment box. We'll get round to answering any of those questions that you might have for us later tonight and tomorrow morning. So, Jacqueline, how fantastic. We have got a partnership which we've been working on for the last year with Ann Summers, looking at and talking to women with diagnosis of breast cancer through focus groups and asking them about sex and intimacy and how it affects their lives. I don't know if you've got something that you wanted to just share with us at the moment before we get going about the partnership, something that you found really useful.
Well, Rachel, I'm really passionate about this partnership. I think it's fantastic. As you know, I've been on my own breast cancer journey. It returned last year. And one of the things, I had to have a mastectomy this time round. And one of the things I realised was that the treatment affects us. Nobody talks to you about how the treatment affects you, but it does, and it can impact your confidence. You feel embarrassed to talk about it, or maybe you feel it's trivial, but actually our sexual well-being is so important. And I love the fact that Breast Cancer Now do these focus groups to help women and open up that conversation. And I love the fact that we're also doing this partnered range where we can go from therapy through to pleasure in a gentle, soft, safe way. I think will be a tremendous help to many women. I've heard anecdotes already of women going into our stores and saying there's something for us. This is, going to be such a big help for us. And obviously you can go into Boots as well. So from a personal point of view, I'm thinking, why has this never been done before? Men's health is often, sexual health is always looked at, whether it be prostate cancer or testicular cancer. So this is now we are doing something for women, and hopefully we can build a community on our website where women can feel comfortable in sharing their experiences and getting ideas from other women.
Because we know that sex and intimacy can really be affected. We've recently done a YouGov survey in combination with you at Ann Summers, and we know that about 75% of women didn't even know or had a conversation about how their sexual well-being would be affected, and so we know that it's not being addressed by healthcare professionals, and we as a partnership are really keen for that to change. And with this MyViv range, which Ann Summers has developed in conjunction with women who have been affected by breast cancer, we really hope that things will change for those women out there.
Yes. And just to point out, this range, this is a very well thought out range. It's been put together on the back of the focus groups that we've done with many of your ladies and contributors. Darlene has been amazing. Having their feedback of what they need and what they want. And I actually think the pelvic floor trainers and the dilator sets have been the most viewed online. So the feedback we're having already is amazing. But I do think, that whole confidence piece is so important. I know from my own personal experience, I actually my husband and I had a bit of counselling. I thought that was really helpful, and I think you do need to, it's obviously different for everybody, but certainly we felt we needed to talk to somebody. And just it's about having those conversations and feeling comfortable that we can talk about our fears. I was worried, would my husband still fancy me after mastectomy? And rather than let your imagination run away with you, it's important to have those conversations.
And knowing who to have those conversations with. I mean, certainly Breast Cancer Now, we answer lots of calls to women and partners who are struggling with sex and intimacy. And when you're talking about the range there about dilators and pelvic floor exercises and lubricants and moisturisers, it's really knowing what's out there and knowing that sex and intimacy is not just about sex and having penetrative sex. It's about knowing what your body feels like now for yourself, and knowing how your body responds with the changes, with hormone therapies, vaginal dryness and loss of breast, loss of sensation. All of those things can be and are affected.
Yeah, and they're all so important, and your doctor doesn't talk to you about them, which I think what you do is absolutely amazing. I think you said Did you say this particular workshop is one of your most popular?
Yes, and certainly when we are running our Moving Forward courses and our Younger Women's courses, both of those bring in sex and intimacy. And for many women, they view it as something that's trivial, that they can't talk to their healthcare professional about. Well, actually, you can. And you should, because it is part of well-being. And what this range, my Viv range, is about well-being. I've heard you say that many times.
Yes. Well, sexual well-being is our right, you know, and we shouldn't just sort of think, oh, this is too embarrassing, or it's too trivial, because it really isn't. Our sexual well-being is a major part of our life.
Absolutely. And I wondered if you could share with the audience some of your top tips about how you cope with day-to-day life in terms of the breast cancer coming back. You've got a young daughter, you've got a lovely husband, and you've also got a really high-powered job. How do you juggle all those
Well,
things?
I think first, everybody is different, so I'll just share what I've done. For me, getting myself back to normal as soon as possible was very important. I didn't want this to define me. Having a really good network around me, you know, my sister and my husband have been incredibly supportive. I also take things to look after myself, so I meditate every day. I do yoga, which I think is really good. And I think it's so important to take the time to do those things that can make you feel good about yourself. You know, we don't get in a car and think, you know, something bad is going to happen. So, you know, yes, I understand, and I went through that period of looking over my shoulder, and then I realised, actually, it's more important that I live my best life and that I have this like ninja-like attitude going forward, and just submerge myself in doing all of the things I feel really passionate about. And that has really helped me.
And have you got any top tips for talking to children who are younger about what's happened for you?
Well, when I had cancer the first time round, my daughter was 8 years old, and it was difficult, but I ordered some books, some age-appropriate books off of Amazon, and we sat down and we read the books together like a story. I actually chose to avoid the cancer word because people have different interpretations of that, and I was worried that other people, if she shared it with them, might sort of position it in a way I wouldn't. So I talked about the lump in Mummy's breast. And then, of course, when it came back, I just think it's I think it's important to be honest with your child. If they ask a direct question, I think you have to give them a direct answer.
It's heartbreaking reporting the tragic death of 62-year-old and Summers founder Jacqueline Gold. Jacqueline Gold died following a long battle with breast cancer. Jacqueline Gold shared her opinion story of cancer impact on sexual intimacy and how it affects their lives in a partnership with Rachel Royson, a clinical nurse specialist. I credit this video to Rachel Royson. She expressed how people battling with breast cancer feel when it comes to sexual health. She told us how it impacts their confidence and feel embarrassed to talk about it. Jacqueline Gold urged us to build a community, maybe online, where women with breast cancer can express their feelings and thoughts. She also talked about having conversations with loved ones, doing yoga exercises, using lubricant moisturizers, having a good network of people, meditation, and so much more that makes you feel good about yourself, as well as doing the things that she was passionate about. Do you have something that you learned from this video? Did Jacqueline Gold inspire you in any way? I think they tackled a topic that people don't think about when it comes to sickness like cancer. People don't address sexual feelings or how they feel when they get affected with cancer and all that, but she pointed out each and everything in a very good way, and I have learned a lot from it. If you have something that you have learned, please drop your comments. Keep the comments respectful. Keep sending prayers to her family, her husband, and all the people that loved her and may Jacqueline Gold's soul rest in eternal peace. You are watching Taj News Media, and please consider subscribing and turning on your notification bells so that you don't miss out on any video that we upload. I love you and stay blessed. Bye bye.